definition of patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. This is something we struggled with on our trip to Kinnickinnic Lake. But by the end of the 57-minute drive to and from, we learned what a wise waterfowl has mastered for over 1.8 million years: that patience is a virtue. Every animal, humans included, primary objective is get food, don't become food, and make little versions of themselves. This is also what every story is about on some level. I bring this up because stories exist to pass on survival information, such as patience is the road to wisdom, a moral or lesson we can take with us after the story is concluded. It's also something I wish we remembered while at the lake. See, Kinnickinnic Lake's common visitors were said to be elk, deer, and bald eagles. So you can imagine our excitement on the 6 a.m. drive only to find... As pretty as it was, after a while, one tends to pass the time doing what any right-minded person would with a body of water and rocks. With our patience dwindling and ability to find first-rate skippable rocks taking a nosedive, we pondered whether we should just pack it up and head back with the footage we captured, but just as we were about to throw in the towel, hope. In the form of a blue-gray feathered, broad-winged, and long-necked sage, the great blue heron, who we've amply named Joe Cool. The time is about 7:45, early in the morning, at least for us college kids, but the perfect time for Joe Cool, as well as dusk. See, this is when fishing's best, within an hour of sunrise and an hour after sunset. You'll find herons just like Joe, residing near marshes, mudflats, lakes, and other shallow water areas. The residential area, the trees, where they nest near the water, having easy access to forage the area nearby. After our initial rush of excitement, Joe just sat there. And sat there for a while. Not cool. It's like he was frozen or meditating, but what we didn't know was that Joe was waiting for prey to happen along. After he eventually left his tree hangout, Joe moved his coolness to the shore, where again, he just stood there, as did we, a group of animals standing still, waiting. The heron is a symbol of patience to several indigenous tribes. This could be because, for a great blue heron, patience and immobility are stocks of its trade. Notice he stands alone, his stoic look, his regal posture. If the trait of any animal is get food, don't become food, and make little versions of themselves, then these actions aren't for show, but for survival. Much like the stories our grandparents tell us, like The Three Little Pigs, it seems we can take a lesson from Joe Cool's Book of Survival. See, Joe will eat just about anything that swims, scuttles, slithers, runs, flutters, or flies and might conceivably be eaten. The easy part's the eating, the hard part's finding the things to eat. Herons are stealthy hunters when foraging for food. They stalk their prey slowly and deliberately, waiting and waiting. Standing silently and unmoving along the shore, body erect and neck outstretched, waiting for prey to come by. Then, after minutes passed, or hours in our case, in the blink of an eye, his patience pays off with a quick lunge of his bill. To the human eye, the actual capture appears instantaneous. And while most love to observe them use their beak like a pair of tweezers, snatching the fish out of the water before tossing it up to be consumed headfirst to easily pass down the throat, most will never see how long Joe waited in stillness before the catch. His scanning for prey, deliberate steps, keen eye before the strike of lightning. After observing Joe for nearly 45 minutes and seeing him capture not one, but 2 fish, he took off. And as our majestic sage flew out of sight, he left us with a conclusion to this story. Whether you're skipping rocks or about to throw in the towel, don't forget that patience is a virtue and the road to wisdom. Now, hopefully that's a moral we can take with us. So we can get food, don't become food, and make little versions of ourselves. Like Joe Cool, someone we struggled with on our trip to Kinnickinnic Lake.